Good morning. I thought I'd wrap up the 50K Canadian Mental Health Ride Don't Hide campaign that I did a couple of Sundays ago with my team, Team Rage. We raised $2,400, so to all those that financially supported me, thank you very much. To those that supported me in general, thank you very much. It was very gratifying and very heartwarming to know that those people out there that care about me came when I asked and helped out. It's an amazing feeling, which kind of goes hand in hand with this whole subject. Another big shout out to my team members, Bill the Butcher Bellbot and his cruiser bike with the speaker and the skateboard rack on the back. Bill never rode that far before and just about killed him. Andy the Brit Lawrence, for my new friend, for coming out on his rusty old garage sale bike. Andy took off like a fucking rocket, and we had to rein him in right off the hop. But he just kept wanting to go faster. Let's catch them, let's catch them. That was fun. Pushed us. An old friend, thank you, Brian Gorman, for coming out and setting the pace, teaching us how to ride in a group, doing that drafting thing. There's a French word for it. We mainly had to draft Bill because he was on a cruiser. So the ride was good, the day was good, lots of people. It was just a good day for a good cause. Another big thank you to Modo Yoga, Nena, Misha, for not only giving me some bucks, but giving me those cool logos that are on the shirts. Their studio and what they do has not only changed my life, but probably 50 other people I know in that place. And I'm going to talk about yoga in a minute. But back to the hide part. I think we all know what this means. We all struggle with things at times, or we do know people that struggle, and some people will talk, others it has to be dragged out of, other people have to get to an explosion point before they do anything or hit rock bottom, all over the spectrum. We hide because we're ashamed. We hide because we think our problems aren't serious enough that nobody will really laugh us off. We hide for a lot of reasons. We don't know what to do. We just don't have the tools to not hide, to speak out, to seek help. So I wanted to just relate my personal experience, and it kind of links to what I talked about when I first started asking for money, and some of the things that I've struggled with in my life is I've hid probably all my life, and probably more so in the last few years than I realized. Sandra will tell you that it always had to come out in an explosion with me. She knew something was bothering me. I was moody, blah, it's just not being myself, and usually she'd drag it out of me or somehow get it out of me, and it was it was tough. I didn't like dealing with it that way because it just bottles up. So back in February, I had probably the lowest point in my life. I'll call it a nervous breakdown. A whole jumble of things. Middle age, PTSD, depression, alcoholism, a plethora of things. But we'll call it old school nervous breakdown. I was in a place that I'd never been in my entire life. I was confused, I was lonely, I was afraid, and I was alone. And I just felt alone, and I didn't feel like I could turn to anybody. So I left, and it was the scariest thing I've ever done, and it was the most terrifying thing I've ever done, and it was the most lonely thing I've ever done, and I just couldn't straighten out my thoughts. So of course you do what you do. You go to a cheap hotel and spend a night, and you get drunk, and I reached out to a friend of mine, Paul. He's got a place up in Erio, the Erio Motel, and he gave me a nice little cottage right on the frozen Rondo Bay, and I spent a couple of days there thinking and writing, and if it wasn't for two people that reached out to me, I don't know where I'd be. I wasn't afraid for my safety necessarily, but I just didn't know what was going to happen next. So a couple of people reached out, and it showed me that there are people out there who care. It was hard, but I started doing it. I got to thank Ray Segan and Laura for their PTSD seminar that they did at the end of February or so. That gave me the courage to do more, to really put an effort into this because I didn't like being the way I was. And I don't want to be that person anymore. It's still going to be part of who I am. I'm never going to be cured, but I'm better. So Ray, so what can you do? There's a lot you can do. Believe it or not, there's a ton of people out there that will listen. Not everybody wants to listen all the time. You can usually tell when their eyes start to glaze over. But people will listen to you. I think you could reach out to just about anybody in your life, and they would at least help you, point you in the right direction, or find the next person that can help you, and so on and so forth. There's so many resources. You got your union, if you belong to one. You got your employer, employee assistance programs, friends, clergy, websites, the Canadian Mental Health Association. Go there. And if none of that's for you, call me. Get a hold of me, and I'll help you figure it out. I'll do that. The second thing I'm going to recommend is start a yoga practice. And it's physical, so it's a good workout. But it's more than that. It calms the mind and teaches you things about, it gives you tools. It really does. And you learn a lot about yourself. It's changed my life, and it's probably changed, I don't know, 50 plus people that I know at the studio. So there's no better place to start than Modo Yoga. Give me a call. I'll set you up. We'll go for a practice. Go to our mats. Something I do every day. Whether I'm at the studio or not, I go to my mat, and it helps. To my family, I have to thank you for being there. I know you don't always understand, but you try, and things are better. So anyway, that's it. You might see a little bit more of me in the future. A friend of mine's got something he's working on. I don't want to steal his thunder just now, but perhaps, because if we don't share and we don't talk, we don't get better. So anyway, have a great summer.